please welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
Good morning. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. NBA Bit here on Friday. All 5 days today. All 5 days. We made it. Hope everybody's, having a nice little start to the day, ready for the weekend. We're going to be talking some hoops today. We had 3 games last night. We had 4 games if you want to count Old Man Hoops. We also got a Bandy sighting. What's up, big boy? Yeah, hell yeah. We had the gods now. 3-0, 40 and over, coming for you next. Then we get, Evan Mobley won some stuff. We'll talk about that. We'll get ourselves ready for the weekend. We also, just a couple of content updates for the rest of the day at noon Eastern over on the Elite Fantasy Sports Channel. We're going to be talking some SORARE NBA to get you ready for the weekend because we've got 3 different slates we got to get into. We're also going to get you ready for a little SORARE MLB, which locks this afternoon. And then we're going to get into some of the SORARE drama. SORARE maybe opening up the Top Shot playbook by flubbing it up. Who do we got in the chat this morning before we get cooking? I see Sneeps is up here. Matic Auto, I swear to God, man, no one goes on vacation more than you. I mean, I know it's the weekend, so I guess that counts, but enjoy yourself, man. Happy birthday to Timmy Duncan. Thank you, Common Man. Stubbs is in the chat. Let's go. We got Boston Base here, Regulator. Let's go. Who else we got? National Telephone Day. It's also Happy National Bucket List Day. I hope your bucket list was to be here. There we go. If you want to see a pretty cool picture, check out the Discord, says Sneeps. There we go. We hit all the big talking points for today, stuff like that. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Where do you guys want to start? Start with the Bing Bong Boys? Let's talk Knicks Pistons. And again, I'm sorry to make this segment immediately about the Celtics. Timothy Chalamet and Ben Stiller went to an away game yesterday. A round 1 away game. Boston, I need your celebrities to be a little bit better, okay? This is out of control. Out of control. I yearn for fandom like that. Celebs going to away games in Detroit, mind you. No disrespect to Detroit, but a little bit. That's impressive. That is impressive. So congrats. Congrats to all of you. And you know what? Congrats to Karl-Anthony Towns, man. The Knicks win this one 118-116. Knicks had like a 13-point lead, I believe, heading into halftime, something like that. And I was watching with some friends last night, and after our basketball game, and I said, get ready, because the third quarter, Detroit's going to come out. They're going to defend this house. They're going to come and punch New York in the mouth. And that is what happened. And to New York's credit, in the last 3 minutes of the third, they battled back. And I believe they had an 8-point lead going into the fourth. And then it kind of flirted between 2 and 8 for the rest of the fourth quarter. And I want to shout out Karl-Anthony Towns because there was a couple of sequences of events that happened that were pretty big time. I'm pretty sure the Pistons were down 2. Let's just say it was 2. It might have been 3. Cade Cunningham puts OG Anunoby on his ass. Gets the ball down near the block, a little bit outside the paint. Puts a move on him. OG hits the floor, and Karl-Anthony Towns stands Cade up, blocks him at the rim. Had another defensive stop, but maybe 2 possessions later. Cat was really doing it on both ends, and Towns, for all that was said after game 2, where he had only taken 10 shots, the New York Knicks were just a little funky. Now, they still almost gave it away, right? They still, they kind of just fell apart a little bit. But Brunson, 9 for 20 from the field, got to the line 13 times. He finished the game with 30 points, 9 dimes, and 7 boards, almost a trippy dubby. Karl-Anthony Towns got up 18 shots, 8 triples, which I think is pretty important, knocking down 4 of them. Got to the line 7 times, finished the game with 31 and 8. Even OG Anunoby carried the offense in the first quarter, the first half. He finished with 22. I think he had 17 at halftime. Maybe Mikal Bridges even arrived. He had 20. Josh Hart didn't do too much offensively, but still had 11 boards, 9 dimes, a steal, a block, 2 steals, a block, and a partridge in a pear tree. Only 9 total points from the bench. And look at how Tibbs squeezed this starting 5. This is the Tibbs we all know and love here. Bridges played 39. OG played 43 of 48 minutes. Cat played 41. Hart 41. Brunson 39. Mitch Robb, the only one with meaningful minutes. He played 16 off the bench. Cam and Deuce McBride both got 9, and then Landry Shamet ran around for 4 minutes. Good stuff. Really good stuff. Regulator in the chat says Cat seems to be a better help defender in general. Yeah, I mean, listen, Cat, I honestly was very impressed with Cat because he, of course, the best shooting big man of all time, says himself. But there were, when you're that good offensively, sometimes you're given a free pass defensively, right? And for Cat to do what he did last night, again, for OG Anunoby being the one that got cooked, who is known as like and I'm not saying he got cooked the whole game. He played great. But for OG Anunoby to get cooked in that spot and Cat to stand him up in the biggest moment of the game. In the biggest moment of the game, because I believe that would have tied it, and you could feel the vibe switching. On Detroit over here, Detroit gets 24 from Tim Hardaway Jr., and everybody knew Timmy and Malik Beasley were going to shoot better in Game 3. Well, I think Timmy did. Malik not so much. But to get 24 from Tim Hardaway Jr. and to collect an L is going to be really tough for Detroit to swallow. So Timmy had 24, knocking down 7 triples. Cade with 24-11. He also had 4 steals, 7 boards. 10 for 25 from the field, not the best. Duren, 16-8. Jalen Duren was a MIA in the first half. In that third quarter, though, a couple of times during just a nice little pick and roll move and I don't know where the Knicks defense was on that, just like easy rim running, throwing it down. Playoff Tobias did come back. He had 5 points and 6 boards, 2 for 9 shooting. And as Ryan Russillo would say, he just kind of disappeared for moments of time. I want to shout out B-ball Paul Reed. And I listen, I'm not saying we should drug test people. I'm not out there promoting drug testing. Do you? If there was one player doing speed, I mean, Paul Reed's got some speed energy out there, right? He was running around, and I'm not even saying he's making great plays, but he's making plays like he is flying around, like he's, maybe abusing a substance. 4 points, 8 boards, and just like flailing. Flailing's the best way to describe that game. It was wacky inflatable arm man, the way those arms are moving around. And we root for Paul Reed here. Ron Holland got 12 minutes, and he was pretty aggressive. I don't know if it was good aggression or bad aggression, but he was aggressive. He was flying at the rim, attacked a couple of times, a couple of good free throws, knocked down some tough free. Actually, he gets to the line 6 times. Holy hell. Anybody else? Schroeder had 18. Malik Beasley, I mentioned, 2 for 10 from 3. That hurt. And Beasley, he had a couple wide open ones at the top of the key while Detroit was making that run that he couldn't get to fall down. So that hurts. I mean, good win for New York. Heading into yesterday was kind of the mindset, if I was to bet on this game, which I didn't, but if I was, the line was 1.5. Knicks favored by 1.5. I thought if it was a close game, Detroit was going to win at home. And so I would have either bet Detroit money line or alt line of Knicks by 10, because I thought there was a chance where New York was going to come out here and just beat the brakes off of them. I really did. I thought they were just going to beat the brakes off of them and respond to just a completely no showing in game 2, heart of the champion, all that shit, right? And they kind of did that in the first half, and then Detroit, to their credit, busted ass. Detroit played some good ball. So that was good. Detroit fans have zero hope. No, I think Detroit's still there. You're still okay. Did you see Detroit fans leaving when it was a 3-point game? I mean, it was a little that was a fake 3-point game at the end, if we're being honest. And Run It Back Philly said that's why Philly fans love B-ball Paul. He would run through a barbed wire fence. Yeah, man, get in the mud. We love B-ball Paul. We are Paul stands here. But good win for New York. Take back home court advantage there. They go up 2-1. I believe the next game is on. Do they play on Saturday or Sunday? Let's check the schedule quickly. But important win. Detroit now backs against the wall. They obviously don't want to come back to New York down 3-1. They don't play again until Sunday. Sunday at 1:00 on ABC. Tickets as low as $164. Shout out the Little Caesars Arena, by the way, or Little Caesars Palace, whatever the hell we're calling it. Top Shot Tesla in the chat would famously joke, hey, you can still get tickets at Little Caesars for $4. 164. You'd love to see it. Congrats to Detroit. But yeah, I think this is it. This is how you get your battle scars for Detroit. You get your W. Also, it's weird seeing Shannon Sharp here. What's this clip right now? I thought Shannon Sharp was off ESPN. Is this like an old clip here? I thought he was done with ESPN for the time being. Not that we're going to get into that today. But yeah, this is how you get your battle scars. I think I picked Knicks in 6 or Knicks in 5 or something like that. I'm rooting for Detroit, though. I hope Detroit extends the series. I hope they get a win at home just so the Detroit fans can feel it, But this game was in the balance, man. This game was in the balance, and I've been really impressed with Detroit's resiliency. I think there's been a couple of times in these games where they could have, specifically last night, rolled over. And to come out in that third quarter, give them some business, and then erode the lead a little bit, right? Because New York battled back. And then, like I said earlier, extended the lead to 8. But then for them to still make it like 3-5, stuff like that, I don't know. I've been very impressed with Detroit. New York, I'm curious to see how they handle Game 4. I think Knicks fans and non-Knicks fans have all been kind of underwhelmed by the Knicks' performances so far in this postseason. I think the spotlight that kept getting shown on them during the regular season of how they couldn't beat a team that was better than them, right? That record against OKC, Boston, and Cleveland was over, right? So I don't know if anybody's taking them particularly seriously until they get to that point where they can steal some games from those teams. And I think that was only exacerbated, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think it's only been proven more the fact that Detroit has been hanging around. The Knicks should be a better team, right? But anyways, good win for the Knicks. We're not gonna poo-poo them. They're up 2-1. Regulator said, did you watch the NFL draft or the NBA playoffs? I'm not watching the NFL draft. The drafts are boring. Somebody will do a podcast about it. I'll catch up. I'm not watching the draft. I don't care. But congrats on getting a wide receiver that can't get separation, Regulator. D-Rose said the zoom in on Beef Stew right after the fight was hilarious. I know. Excuse me. Beef Stew looking fresh in that suit, though. I didn't know he had. Sir was not familiar with your game. Snoopaloop, you went to the draft. Was it a good time? Although you're not too far from Green Bay, right? I was just, as long as you didn't travel to the draft, as long as and maybe you made it. I don't know. Did you go with the boys? What'd you do, Snoop? Did the Hornets draft a wide receiver? Yeah, the Hornets drafted a wide receiver. No, the Panthers did. Are you not a Panthers fan? Even you're a Hornets fan and not a Panthers fan? Do those exist? Enough football talk. Who cares? Let's go to some late night action. Let's start with OKC Memphis. The Thunder, insane comeback, man. Look at this shit. They got outscored by 11 in the first quarter, outscored by 15 in the second quarter. For you math virgins out there, that's a 26-point lead heading into halftime. And then Ja Morant got Jimmy Butlered on steroids, man. They and again, I hope no one was saying that Doherty was dirty. Lou Dort looked like he slipped as he was switching, kind of undercut Ja. Ja goes down hard, and it was tough. And Ja left the game on crutches. I guess he's not gonna. My guess would be he's not gonna play for Game 4. And then if you want to cue the ESPN music, Ja Morant probably not playing Game 4. Did he just play his last game with the Memphis Grizzlies? More after the break. I don't know, man. You thought that was dirty, DJP? You thought that was a dirty play? I didn't see anybody. I literally haven't seen anybody say it was dirty, but you do famously have terrible takes, so maybe you do think that. Dan Rose says you can't start Scottie Pippen Jr. in playoff games and expect to win with all due. Yeah, I mean, listen, they are pretty bummed injury wise, right? They're missing a lot of guys, and I mean they're playing this historic team in the Oklahoma City Thunder who just ran through the entire regular season with insane rates. I thought Chet Holmgren was awesome in this game. I think Chet just was incredible, especially during this comeback. It seemed like he was making big play after big play, and the 3 ball was falling for him. What did he finish? 5 for 10 from 3. I mean, your big guy chucking 10 threes. You just love to see it. He had 24 and 8 in this game. J-Dub was pretty solid defensively. He had 26, 6, and 5. And then SG Alexander, SGA had 31 and 8. Off the bench, you had 2 guys, Caruso and Isaiah Joe, both with 10. Just terrible luck there. I mean, obviously, I was impressed with what Memphis was doing, man. Memphis out there, backs against the wall. Nobody believes in them, including their own organization, their front office firing their coaches right before the break, right? I mean, before the playoffs start. And to, play in this team in OKC, to go out there and just beat the brakes off them in the first half. I mean, they obviously win this game. They win this game if he's available, if Ja's available. And for them to come back is great. It was just great by OKC. Terrible for Memphis. I don't know. DJ P didn't know saying that Tatum is cringe and Dort. And no, I mean, DJP, come on. You get the tattoo, man. You know it. You know it. It's okay though. It's okay. You know, you lean into those takes, and that's what it's all about. All right. Some would say you are a more likable Stan Loves with some of these takes. You know, but it's all love, DJP. It's all love. So OKC goes up 3-0. That's probably over. You know, I don't think we see a game 5. I don't think they go back to OKC except to rest. What's really impressive is the Thunder will get the winner of the next game that we're going to talk about. And if they're just going to be able to sit back and relax and wait. Dort didn't do it on purpose. You know what? Because of all this, you guys are going to call Lou Dort dirty. You're going to get the Dort report. All right? That's what's going to happen now. Yeah, Boston base. It was something like that. It was up 20 plus. 20 plus is when Ja went down. It was like the biggest comeback, I think, in playoff history or something like that. So, yeah. I mean, but like, you could feel it happening, right? You could feel it happening. OKC one step closer to round 2, and so are the Los Angeles Clippers. Clip City, bitch. Shout out our guy, actually, Jeb Bush, who was at the game last night. He was defending the wall. Clippers, man, they come out, punch him in the mouth 35-28 at the end of 1, and then hold the Nuggets to 19 points in the second and 13 points in the fourth quarter. Now, the Nuggets waved the white flag pretty early in this one, and the Clippers just could not miss early on. They were just, what was that, 65 at halftime? They were awesome. Kawhi finished with 21, 11, and 6. He went 3 for 6 from 3. Harden went 29 and 6. He went 3 for 8 from 3. Norman Powell, we got a Storm and Norman Powell sighting finally. He had 20 points. He went 3 for 8 from 3. Chris Dunn even hit some threes. Then when you get to the bench, Nicolas Batum, he hit 4 threes, finishing with 12 and 5. Just a good performance all around. They shot 46% from 3, 18 for 39, shooting just under 50% from the field. Clippers, man, first home game at the Win2It Dome. Some are calling it the Win2It Dome, and those people are me. And that, good for the Clips, and the Clippers in 6 is starting to feel good, man. Clippers in 6 is starting to feel good. Denver's in some trouble. They just, again, couldn't defend. It seems like the Clippers have finally adjusted to the flow of Denver's game. Like, Jokic put up the stats, but it wasn't easy. Like, he still had a triple-double, still played 37 minutes. Like, that's the other crazy thing about this. They kind of left them out there for the whole third, beginning of the fourth, and then wave the white flag. But 23, 13, and 13. Jamal had 23. Maybe, you know what? Maybe Adam Silver, maybe I got an apology for you. Maybe he knew this game was going to be ass, and that's why he put it on NBA TV, and we actually got to see the biggest comeback in playoff history with the Oklahoma City Thunder on TNT. So maybe there's that. The Nuggets are cooked, though. I think that might be curtains. I think that they probably go back to Denver 3-1, and then we see what kind of resiliency Denver has, and do they force it back to the Clippers? But this might be it. And maybe this is overreaction, because if they win game 4, all of a sudden they take home court. But the way the Clippers have played, I think if you ask both Denver and Clippers with some truth serum, they would probably both say the Clippers should be up 3-0. Clippers should have won that game 1. And they should have, and they won game 2 and game 3. So Tesla said feels good about my Clippers Western Conference Finals take. I'd be right there with you if they didn't have to play Oklahoma City in the second round. I was saying I think they are the second most dangerous team in the West, but I don't see them beating OKC. But I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a fun-ass series, and it'll be fun to see Oklahoma City get tested in a way that they haven't been tested so far, at least by Memphis. So, Denver, now the conversation probably turns to the offseason. Okay, so what do you mean they got no? They fucking played last season in the playoffs, dude. They played last season in the playoffs. Like, how many playoff series do you have to play before it counts as experience? I think those are the boring takes, dude. We should get you on ESPN with stuff like that. No, Oklahoma City has no playoff experience. They can't get it done. But James Harden does? Use the Harden experience. But at least a conference. What do you mean at least a conference final? Okay, that's when it counts as experience, at least a conference finals. All right. How many times have the Clippers been to the conference finals? You know? Clippers curse. How many times have they been there? Once, right? Once when they got through the Jazz and then lost to the who's it called? They lost to the Suns, I think, right? Was that year? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I love what the Clippers are doing, though. I do. I think their bench might be a problem at some point. But I like last night, Batum and Derek Jones Jr., they're continuing to squeeze those minutes. Called that out after game one that the Bogdanovich experience and the Ben Simmons experience not going so great. They only played 10 minutes and 9 minutes respectively. It basically was the Batum and Derek Jones Jr. show. So it's going to be a 7-man rotation moving forward. I think that I'll be curious to see if Bogdan gets a little bit more run in the second round, but I don't know. I don't think we're going to see it. I don't think we're going to see it just because it's too much of a liability on the defensive end. Even losing like Harden still makes you better. Whoo, baby. All right, great question here by Matty Harrison. So if OKC makes it to the conference finals this year, does that give them experience for the finals this year, or does it get loaded up during the offseason? Yeah. How does the energy and boost work? How does it work? Oh man. And if losing makes you better, then they do have the team for it. They got Ben Simmons and James Harden, so they should be prepared then. Again, I think that's going to be a fun series, though. I hope we get it. We probably shouldn't bury Denver until after game 4. But if Denver does go out in 5 or even 6, I wonder how they approach the offseason. I wonder how they approach the offseason. And I know like Michael Porter Jr. has been in and out of trade rumors this year. I don't even know what kind of moves they could make to surround them with like better playmaking. But I imagine the key move this offseason or the key focus this offseason would be finding more 3-point shooting around Jokic. It is kind of bonkers to me that you have this elite passer who is also an elite scorer, but this elite passer on a team with no real 3-point shooting. So we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see how they do it. What's going on, Boston-based? Arturis goes back to Denver as GM leaves Chicago. That's what you're saying? Oh no, you're just desperate for that. You are desperate for that. All right, let's give some no bag Evan Mobley while we have Tesla in the chat. Evan Mobley takes down Defensive Player of the Year for the Cavs. Looked like Draymond Green finished 3rd too, which was pretty good, huh? Love to see that. I was our guy. I think Dyson Daniels finished 2nd, so that was exciting. That was really exciting. We love that. But no bag Mobley gets an award before Scotty Barnes. Right? Is that? I forget. Is that why we don't like him? No contributors on OKC has made a deep playoff run apart from Caruso. All right, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, Mobes takes it down, Defensive Player of the Year. Congrats to him. Congrats to him. Congrats to the Cavs. Oh, Rookie of the Year. That's right. The Good Player on a Bad Team award. What do we have for tonight's action? Tonight we've got the Orlando Magic and the Boston Celtics. I had to tell you some concerning Celtics reporting. So Boston it looks like Tatum is quite doubtful again tonight for game 3. And I thought for sure when they said he was doubtful for game 2, it was like, hey, we're at home. It's fine. We'll move in. We'll move into game 3 and be good to go. We'll win at home. And so he's doubtful for game 3. You also have a Q tag on Drew Holiday, which is a little concerning. Now, maybe they were just being cautious with the injury report and he should be good to go. But I do think Orlando is probably going to continue the physicality, which I want to talk about in a second. You assume the role players shoot a little bit better at home. And I think if the Celtics are going to be really dinged up like this, that this game might feel a little bit closer than it should. I hope the Celtics are able to recognize this moment of being like, hey, we can have the week off if we just go out and take care of business tonight. And then go for the sweep. But that is a little concerning. The Tatum, I thought for sure Tatum was one and done. Like he was just going to miss one game. So the second game is a little bit more problematic. We also have Pacers and Bucks, which is the NBA TV /ESPNU. And this might be, if Milwaukee can't get this one, get ready. You just be pouring gasoline gasoline on the Giannis leaving Milwaukee. So good thing Wisconsin has the NFL draft that you can focus on instead of watching those Bucks. But that's a little scary. And then maybe the game of the night here, Lakers, Minnesota should be a lot of fun. Honestly, looking at this, Boston and Orlando should have been on NBA TV. I kind of want to watch Bucks Pacers almost a little bit more than that. But those are the 3 games tonight. I was listening to the Zach Lowe show. And before, I just want to talk about like the physicality thing for a second with all these injuries, right? So, and most of them freak injuries, but still that like physical play of Jimmy Butler, right? He's in doubt for tomorrow. Tatum's missed some time. Now Ja Morant. And just like the amount of like it is kind of weird that it is a different sport in the playoffs compared to the regular season because bros would have been fouling out in the second quarter if they were calling the games, if they were calling the playoffs like they do in the regular season. And I'm all for it. Like I would much rather get into the flow of the physicality. Like I think a lot of New York and Detroit has been pretty physical without really crossing lines. Boston, Orlando has been chippy too. I do like that take. Bring back the 5-game first-round series format. I'd be all for that as well. But it does seem like it is getting a little like I'm very fascinated to see how they call this game in Orlando and how they call tomorrow's Houston Golden State game. Because I wonder if the pendulum is swung so aggressively in one direction, shut up the band, that they RIPs, that they now start to like have a tighter whistle early on in the game just to try to get things under control early on. I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about it. It is kind of weird that it is just like a straight up different game. But one of the thing that I wanted to point out from the Zach Lowe show, and again, this was heading into last night, so this does not include game 3, Detroit, New York. It is nuts that Jalen Brunson had drawn 25 fouls, right? 25 fouls to Steph's 6. Steph has only drawn 6 fouls, and I would argue that Houston Golden State game series has been far more physical than Detroit, New York. And I just keep thinking about like Bill Simmons would talk about this with Chris Paul back in the day when CP3 was on the Clippers and they'd have those games against the Warriors. How Chris Paul basically from the tip would just be slapping and like almost forcing the officials, like, are you going to call this? Because if you don't start calling this now, like I'm going to do this the whole game. And I do wonder if like that is part of it. But it does seem like Steph might get one of the worst whistles in the NBA, which is kind of crazy to say. Well, especially while Jimmy gets like a pretty favorable whistle. But for Brunson to have drawn 25 to the 6 that Steph has drawn is crazy. Now, maybe Asar Thompson is just a little more foul or susceptible to foul baiting than Steph. And maybe Steph isn't as dramatic as Brunson is because Brunson does look like John Wilkes Booth is firing at him from the rafters the way that he like rolls around out there after every call. But yeah, I don't know. That's something that's interesting. Do you guys have any takes on that in the chat about like the level of physicality? Because it feels, and I think the injury things are more freak. Like I think the Jimmy Butler injuries are a little freaky. Tatum, I think, was just a hard foul and he landed funny. I know everybody is pro. I can't imagine anyone's like, I wish we had more whistles, but it does feel a little different. This series feels a little, or this playoff feels a little different, or maybe we have the same damn conversation every April, but feels different. Is all I'm saying. Feels different. Matty Harrison seems like Steph is getting fouled off ball a lot, so maybe it's overlooked more than Brunson, who has the ball constantly. Yeah, that is the stuff that has been getting pointed out and isolated a little bit more, is Steph kind of running around off screens and then just being held, like at all times being held. So I don't know. Anyways, well, I think I'm going to take the Celtics tonight. I'm going to take the Pacers tonight, and I'm going to take the Lakers tonight. I'm going to take all road teams. Bucks are favored by 5.5. That's crazy. That seems like a crazy line. Regulators said the Clippers are playing very physical as well, but not a lot of fouls there. Yeah. Again, I'm very excited about that. I'm all experience conversations aside. I'm very excited for that Clippers one. Thoughts on the Tatum recovery? Boston Bay, did you leave and then just come back? I feel like I just talked about that. No. Yeah, Skeets' tweet was great. And then are we playing Nas and McDaniels on SORARE tonight? Yeah, I think so. Nas, McDaniels, I think Dante DiVincenzo. I imagine all of those guys play better. The Lakers Timberwolves series has been like pretty low scoring. That like last game. What was that last game too? It was like 95-84 or something like that. I suspect we see some more offense tonight. I am not playbacking tonight. Unless it's the late game, but I don't think I am. My in-laws are in town this weekend, so we're hanging out with them tonight for dinner. Might do an early game on Saturday though. Am I playbacking tonight? No, wait. There was something else I was going to say. Oh, and Weisberg. Weisberg is not either. Weisberg's celebrating his birthday. Happy birthday, Mike Weisberg, on the beaches. But maybe Sneeps will be spinning the ones and the twos. I know he did it the other day. This weekend too. So I mentioned the Friday game. Saturday, we've got 4 games on Saturday and 4 on Sunday. So we'll have game 3 of Cleveland and Miami, game 4 of OKC Memphis, game 4 of Denver and the Clippers, and then game 3 of Rockets and Warriors. And then Sunday, we'll have game 4 of Bing Bong in Detroit, of Lakers in Minnesota, of Boston, Orlando, and then Indiana, Milwaukee. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. It's going to be good stuff. Good stuff. Old man hoops update. Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. What do you think about this? So I'm going to talk about that at noon. Yeah. So just a reminder, I got a live content update for you. 10:30 Hoop Sense is going live on Count the Dings, the Count the Dings YouTube channel. And then at noon, we're going to talk SORARE NBA, SORARE MLB, and the drama. It sounds pretty bad, actually. Old man regulator, he heard him. Oh, wait, you're talking about LeBron. Old man hoops update. Yeah, we won last night. We were playing a team that we ended up beating by 20, but it was a lot closer than it should have been. But then we won. We pulled away in the second half. I didn't shoot the ball particularly well I think I was 1 for 4 from 3 last night. But we were getting in the paint. We were getting in the paint, running on the break. I think we finished with 14 or 16, something like that. 3-0, baby. 3-0. The old heads are still rolling out there. And I actually physically feel pretty good. That's the first time in a while where I feel like I got my legs under me again, playing a lot of aggressive defense. My opposite hand's solid. I actually probably hit 3 left-handed layups last night. Why do the refs hate Asar Thompson so much? Yeah, I mean, he's putting himself in some tough spots. And you're right, though. He's not getting – it feels like all of those 50-50 calls are going against Asar. I didn't notice it as much last night. Maybe I missed it last night, and because I missed a little bit of the first half because of the game. I noticed it I think it was game 2. Game 1, I thought he was super aggressive and fell for some stuff, and those fouls seemed legit. Game 2, there were 2 or 3 50-50 calls where one, Brunson just angled Brunson out of bounds, and they ended up calling a foul on him. And I thought that was a bullshit call. There was another one too that was more in the paint that I thought he got robbed on. I didn't notice it as much last night. I think he's very good, man. He's very good defensively, and maybe he needs playoff experience to start getting calls. And yeah, there you go. Mike Asar Zakarian. Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far, but what we started doing, we were playing zone. We were playing zone at the top, and we just you got to be connected to play zone, and we weren't connected. So we switched to man, and then I just started picking them up 90 feet, baby. We were picking them up on the inbound. I was like, I'm going to make you dribble, brother. We were trapping people in corners. We were running some Rick Pitino, Kentucky shit out there. We were zipping around. But I'm pretty bummed with my shot. I walked into a 3-pointer to start the game, and I was like, okay, good. And I was great in warm-ups, knocking stuff down, and I just couldn't. I've been very good set shooting, but I haven't been able to there was a couple of times where I just wasn't centered. I don't know. I've been bummed with the shot in game anyways. God, I got something in there. Were you picking up full on your? Yeah, I was. Listen, they did it to me, man. They did it to me. So we did. Only after makes, though. I was only doing it after makes. So if we scored, I'd get up on them a little bit because they only had one guy that could handle the ball, and that's who I was covering. So I was just trying to get him to not dribble the ball. So I was like, if I can get the ball out of him, get the ball off of him, then we were causing a lot of turnovers after that. Brunson's play style came straight. No, relax. I almost said that with a Jesus Christ generational hater. I don't know how your body's holding up playing 2 sports. Softball doesn't really count, man. I'm not running I'm just playing left field. Just I'm grazing out there. So it's not too bad. Bo Jackson. Yeah, man. A lot of people call me Bo Jackson. We need playoff live streams for. Yeah, Yeah, I don't think we need live streams. I try to get some video there. Yeah, we did prime Clay to TJ. That's great. That's great. Thank you for the $5. We did. We did go to TJ. I know it's bumming me out. I think I'm in my head now because I'm not the best 3-point shooter on the team anymore. So I gotta mentally adjust. This guy Dre on our team, he's so good, man. He's so good at chucking. But yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to the 3-ball. And yeah, it's exactly like that. It's exactly. You know what? We needed to do it to win, okay? We weren't playing well. I had to switch the momentum. Called man, and then we took over. We were also missing our like main point guard last night. He was hurt. So I think that's part of the reason why the game was a little bit closer. He's like a floor general, man. Although he was there, he was trying to play and then couldn't go. He was really funny. He almost pulled a Damian Lillard where he almost got teed up without playing, which was great. Also, oh man, I got into it with the refs. I'm usually pretty fun, and got into it with the refs last night because he just like blew like 4 calls in a row, and they were like really, really bad. They were egregious, and I like just said something, and he was like, "That's the easiest call I've made all night." And I was like, "That doesn't mean it was a good one." I was like, "You've been confidently, easily calling bad calls for the last like 20 minutes." He's like, "What did you say to me?" And I was like, "I was pretty clear." And then it was almost like he wanted to fight. I was like, man, what are you doing? We don't need to. I just want you to do a little bit of a better job. And I also have to do a better job. I'm not hitting my shots. No, it wasn't the Einstein guy. It was good memory. It was not the Einstein guy. It was a 2-person team, an older guy and a younger woman. And the woman did a great job. She was clear and confident in all of the calls. And this guy, like, we try to ask him how much time is left. There was like under 2 minutes left and I was trying to figure out how much time was left in the first half. And like I asked him how much time during a dead ball, and he like slowly takes his phone out of his pocket. Then he had to unlock the phone. Now the ball's already in play, and he at no point says how much time's left. Just clown shit. And I know we couldn't be complaining about the refs and old man hoops, but we're gonna pay like $200 to play in this league. The least you can do is fucking know how much time's left, you know? Anyways, we've already probably talked too much old man hoops, but we're 3-0. We're gonna be good. I don't know if we're gonna win the league, but we're on our Detroit Pistons stuff. We're gonna triple our win total this year. I think we only had 3 wins the entire season last season. I think we only played 10 games. So we really might triple our win total. 3-0 already. And then we got a gimme on Monday. Monday will be an easy dub. Maybe we'll work on the 3-point shot Monday. We'll try to take 10 threes. There's not with a running clock. No, not with a running clock. No, we don't pay that much. Real quick, are you going to be happy paying Mobley his defensive player trigger year contract is the third option? See Bobby Marks' tweet. All right, let's see Bobby Marks' tweet. Let me pull it up right now. Yeah, I think they'll pay him. I mean, I really do think he has made some pretty solid what's it called? Strides this year offensively. Let's see, where is it? Significant financial implications. Let me switch screen here. Good shout for that, Tesla. Let's pull it up here. Bobby Max. All right, so rookie extension with Defensive Player of the Year. Evan Mobley signed a 5-year, $224 million rookie extension. Included. All right, the extension can increase now with Cleveland, $219 million projected. Wow, yeah. So that's a nice little pay bump for our guy Mobley. Yeah, I mean, I think if you're willing, to pay him $224 million, I think you're probably willing to pay him $269 million. So I think it is the most improved tonight. Yeah, I think it is. I think when you retire from old man hoops, you should become a ref. I agree. I would do that. Wow, Mobley feels like new Bam, which isn't really that slanderous. You're right, it isn't. I'll tell you what, if his offensive ceiling is Bam, I don't know if you are comfortable paying him this. I think he needs to be better than Bam. I think so. I know Stan's probably going to come out the woodwork right now. Do you guys agree with that? Do you think Bam should be making max money? Do we think Bam should be making max money? Better shooter than Bam. Yeah, he's more consistent than Bam, I feel like. Bam, that's my biggest frustration with Bam Adebayo. I feel like he's inconsistent offensively. It's early, Tesla. It's early. Who would have guessed Bill Simmons overreacted? Wait, wait, what do you mean last season? Yeah, you don't. What does this mean? Last season, yes. This season, no. What does that mean? Can you please stream one of these games, one of the Cavs games? Maybe on Sunday. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, but that's not his job, is to be a creator, though. But I guess that's your point. Is that why are you paying somebody that can't create their own shot then? I mean, he can't. I think I don't know. Oh, I don't know if I can stream an old man game. Would you pay Bam? Let's see. If Bam's second best player on 2 finals team with less talent. Hey, Stan, I agree with you, man. For a team that did not win anything, he was the second best player on a team that the bubble finals, right? Nobody counts the bubble. So congrats on that one. And then the other one, yeah, congrats. Second best player on a team that lost, Stan. All right, this is good takes in here. Good takes. Good job, everybody. Yeah, good job. I like these. These are good. This was a good. Who knew? Who knew we needed to have the Bam Mobley conversation? I think the answer is probably Mobley's got a higher ceiling than Bam. And I don't think I'm comfortable paying either of those guys that much money. I think you have to. But I mean, I guess like what's the difference between paying Bam that money and paying Jaylen Brown max money, you know? I think we can all agree we'd take him over Scotty Barnes, though, right? Stan, you're right. And which one of those teams won a finals, though? Did the Celtics win a finals or the Miami Heat win a finals? Yeah, that's true, too. Bam's finals experience really isn't paying off. We got to go back to the experience conversation. All right, guys, we're going to call it there. This is fun. Good show, everybody. Good show. Actually, we should end it with this. Would you trade Luka for either one? That's great. That is great. Oh, God, Nico, he's the best, man. Count the dings. Hoop Sense, 10:30. Get ready. We'll be over there at 10:30 Eastern, and then again at noon, and then we'll be done for the weekend. I love the playoffs, guys. The playoffs are the best. I'm having a really nice time. Hope you guys have a good weekend. If I don't see you during the other shows, we'll be back on Monday with the bit. We out.